Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. So today we have context number 2 for building a space elevator. So let's get started. Alright, so we are on context episode 2 or number 2 to kind of talk about what we've done so far with building a space elevator. So let's just see exactly what we've done so far, and that is pretty much build up in this case. So since the last context video, we had initially built a 3-tower pillar system with a projection so we can weld it up going upwards. So going upwards from here, right now we're at the end of our kind of projection right here. And right inside is where we put the projector. Ow, that hurts. So here's the projector down here is what we've done with this. So it's a little hard to see, but the projector is here, and we eliminate the ones on the bottom that we've already got rid of. So what we're gonna do here is get rid of this projector because we're already at the end of the line. We can get rid of this light armor block as well. And if you go any deeper, you'll see where the previous projection was as well. Trying to find my way back up without getting myself killed by this welder, and that kind of worked out. Okay, so we'll talk about this rig in a second, but we need to turn off our welders. Here we go. Okay, so we got rid of one projector. There's no projection here, so we gotta get rid of that one. So as easy as getting in there and flying down. Oh, fuel is low, so that's not good. And I'm probably gonna have to kind of kill myself here. I guess we'll be right back. Alright, so we got our body back, our items back, and we should get some hydrogen. So once we get hydrogen, we can continue with our project over there. So we are actually running out of ice, which we will need to get fairly soon. But I carry 2 hydrogen bottles with me for most cases, so we don't run out quickly with our jetpack. Alright, so once again we got rid of, I think, 2 projectors so far. We get rid of the last one, and then we'll replace it with the other projector, so we can project some newer grids upwards. Did we get rid of this one also? No, so we need to get rid of this one as well. Here we go. So pop in the light, and down we go. Alright, so we get rid of this projection like so. And we can get rid of that or keep it. Either one works fine. And now we're going to replace it on top here because we need to have more projections to go any higher than what we've done so far. So we got to get in here like so. Yep, there we go. Okay. So first things first, we need to put down light armor block. Then we can put down our projection. So the projector, wherever that is on my menu, it is right here. Okay, so the way I've been projecting it, it has been basically all the same way, meaning having the 4-point piece here facing one way and a 2-piece point another way. So basically I was doing kind of this way. So have the 4 pieces towards me and the 2-prong piece facing upwards. So that's how I've been placing these things here. So when we're facing the same way, we do the same thing for each and every side, so then everything maintains the same when we actually maneuver or move the when we move the projection itself or the blueprint. So we gotta put them all kind of the same way. So we can always put in our projection parts in and make sure to hit weld. And our projector should be going well. hopefully. And from here is when we can do our projections. So projectors, oh no, actually, you know what? I can't do it from here. So, because it's a separate grid. So we need to do a projection from within. So, which is not so good. Let me turn this off for power savings. Okay, so it's gonna be really, really hard to see, but we're gonna have to find a way to have a nice viewpoint up there and actually, yeah, that's gonna be extremely hard to see. Okay. How are we gonna do this? I guess we could, no, we can't. Yeah, get in here. Maybe this works. Yep, that well, kind of, not really. I was hoping to be able to see the very top, which we could kind of do it this way. Not really. So we do a projection blueprint, and we go for the blueprint that we've had, which is this static grid here. We'll keep the projection, and we just gotta know where it is. Okay, so it's right behind me, right here. Okay. So what we normally do is, I think, if I set it all the same way as previously, I set the pitch 90 degrees. We do a vertical offset by -1, and then we do a forward offset as far as possible until it touches the previous block. So it's not where it says warning projection out of bounds right here. So we gotta bring it down just a bit more, and that should do it. Now we're not out of bounds. So I think 7 is the mark, right? So we did 8. Nope, that works too. 9 is out of bounds, so we need 8. Okay. Alright, so there you go. So if all things else is the same, set the same blueprint, set the same key projections, pitch by 90 degrees, vertical offset by -1, and we do 8 here, and we should be good. I don't see it right now, but let's just gonna assume it's correct for the time being. And we'll put that there. Key projection, same thing, 90 offset by 1 and offset by 8. And I think that should be it. And guess what? It is perfectly aligned. Alright, so that's how I've been putting up the projections for the 3 towers of the space elevator. And I think we could do it twice. So basically, once we reach the top here, I'm gonna go back to the projections, hit the forward offset and max it out, and so that I can build an additional piece to it. So that's pretty much how I've been doing it with this projection and the 3 towers to kind of get it rolling. So after that's done, for what we've done, we built out this type of worm welding rig, which actually works out pretty well. It's not too bad. So basically it's held on by 6 landing gears. So you have 3 up top, 3 in the bottom, and it's worming with the pistons. So 3 pistons, 1, 2, and 3. We have tons of batteries just so we have enough power, and housing a large cargo container, which actually right now has 88,000 worth of steel plates. So not completely filled, but it's quite heavy. So that's how much is in there. And then this piece here, this middle piece, was unnecessary, but I placed it as an option so that we can kind of do some welding faster or slower, whatever the case is, when we have it working correctly. So this was an afterthought that didn't really work out because we didn't really need it. Based on just having it the way it is now, it works perfectly fine. And then of course it's all connected to a welder here, as you've seen before. And there's a connector here just so we can have it connect to our cargo ship, which we'll explain a bit more about that later. But it's pretty much a simple rig here that climbs up and down, basically. So here we have our options on the bottom. We have a lock for a set of landing gears right down here. This one, that one, and this one here. And then of course we have the piston, the 3 piston groupings to go up and down. And then we have the landing gears, that's the top one here, one there, and one up here. So that gives us the ability to go up and down the 3 towers and weld up as much as possible. So here we'll turn on the welders and we're gonna unlock, let's see where we at. We're gonna unlock the top group, so that's that one, and then start going upwards with our piston. So the pistons for this group is really slow just for the welding purposes. So the velocity is set at 0.3, so that's the speed that it's going at basically, which is not really the quickest thing to do, but it works out for a time lapse because, you know, it goes a little faster that way. But once the piston is fully extended, that's when we lock on to from the top landing gears, and then we unlock the bottom ones and then reverse the piston. So we lock the top, right, so unlock the bottom and then hit the piston. So then we go upwards, and at this time where we're going upwards, we're actually welding up the tower this way. So that's how that kind of works in this sense. But once again, it's a really slow process, which I don't mind it, but it works out pretty well. Sometimes, well, I don't know why that just missed that, but sometimes I've seen it miss some blocks here and there, which is a bit of a pain. But we can always grab the steel plate from here and fix that up if we need to. Right there, right here, and here. So yeah, it hasn't really missed much recent times, but I don't know, apparently it does. But the worst part about this rig is basically when we lock it again to raise the top platform, nothing's happening. So I think ideally what we should do is kind of use that middle welding piston here to kind of react at the same time as it's going up, so that has, like, you know, more usefulness or more uses in this case. So while this is going up, that piston should be going up as well, or something like that. I don't know, haven't really figured it out. But this is the welding rig that we have. It's really dangerous to use. The moment you unlock both landing gears, basically good luck in salvaging it. So basically it's gonna slide down, fall, and crash and burn basically. So that's the worst part about this rig. And it's not, and you could do it in a timer block obviously, but the only problem I have with that is if I run out of steel plates, and we run out of steel plates pretty quickly, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna go out of bounds and fall off basically. So once again, you see here, we gotta lock it, unlock it, and then bring it up. So as long as you get that combination all memorized in this rig, which of course you could do a lot better than this, but I want to keep it something as simple as possible, and this is what it is. So now the question that most of you asked is, why did I not connect it to the base so that you can easily have steel plates going right into your cargo container? Well, one of the main reasons why I didn't want to do that is because I want to keep it simple. Another reason is because the moment I snap in it with a merge block or even a connector, I'm afraid that that motion where it connects is gonna knock and break the towers, because I've seen it happen before. I could be wrong, but I've seen it happen before, and that's why I got a little worried about and didn't want to try it. But don't get me wrong, I did add a spot to get some connection points too. So if I really wanted to, especially when we get closer to space, what I'm probably gonna do is I probably can just project it too, is grab a tube that it was initially connected to, and then just bring it all the way up there, and then connect it with a piston or whatever the case we need in that case. So there is a backup plan. So there is that, so I can connect it to the bottom. I didn't want to complicate it with, you know, making a projection of that piece to get it connected with the merge blah blah. So that's the main reason why it's done this way. I mean, what we could have done actually without landing gear, actually just thinking about it, maybe I got rid of the landing gears, and when it's building the towers, build the merge blocks so it climbs up better. I don't know. That's a possibility, but I didn't want the merge blocks on the tower itself. So this was the cleanest and quickest way I could have got this done. Again, not the best way to do it, but it's just kind of the way I just wanted to do in this case. But enough of the tower. So as you see here, for some reason, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I haven't seen it happen like this in recent times. So is it because the welders don't have... No, I don't know. Is it going too fast? Maybe I gotta slow it down a little bit more, which is going to be a little unfortunate because it's already slow going at this point. But yeah, once again, the scariest thing to use ever, because if I lock or unlock the wrong thing, this whole thing is gonna be damaged, and that's not gonna be good. Alright, so we'll let that go and do its thing. And we've gotten pretty far, so let's see how far we've gotten based on the height here. We've gotten only 650 meters, roughly. So, long ways to go. Alright, so right after that, once we did the projection, we did create that elevator piece to climb and weld. We'll continue to leave it as that. We still haven't even tested if this elevator is even going to work the way it's kind of done right now, which is based on experiment. It looks like it's going to work okay. So this is basically the rotor wheel type of situation connected to landing gears. And I think if we put one large thruster right here, whether it's going to be a hydro thruster or an atmospheric thruster right in the middle, I think that's going to work really good for the elevator here. And yeah, it's going to be quite dangerous to do it, but in terms of dangerous, meaning everything's going to break if I do it wrong. But it should turn out fairly okay. And it is connected to a base somewhere. I just got to figure out where. Where is it connected to? Oh, right there. I saw it. Right here. So if I take this off and this off, we're probably going to have liftoff in that case. I think this one's empty. Yeah. Okay. So we still haven't tested it yet. But, I mean, once we get the tower going, we'll do a moment of truth. Of course, I'll be smart about it and actually connect it from like here to here on the top. Because if we break one tower, and the rest is gonna flop down and fall down, so we're gonna connect that on top somehow. And also once we get into space, we're gonna connect it there anyway. So that way we don't lose a full tower, if anything. I mean, honestly, I should probably start doing that as well, just in case something does break. And when I say that, I mean the fact that something almost broke at one point. When we were playing around with building the drilling rig. But you know what, let's just be safe and just build a little bit of a scaffolding here, just so we can keep the 3 towers nice and leveled when it does something crashes and burns this thing down, right? So okay, so once we were done with the projection, making the welder, we decided to play around with a new toy, which was the drilling rig, which is right here, which is lost his legs because I think we put too much weight on it, and then I tried to climb up one of these hills and it's a little too steep to climb. Yeah, right here. And it just pretty much broke the whole entire thing, which is really unfortunate. But I haven't really salvaged it yet or rebuilt it yet, so it's just kind of just hanging here. And you guys seen it in quite some depth, especially with the experiment that I did with it, so not much to really talk about, but it worked out okay. So let me just do a little cheesy moment here and enable creative mode and go to my blueprint for it. So this is our drill station. So this is what it was, or what it is, right there. And that is pretty... Ooh, I think I broke it. And pretty much this is our drilling station that we can use to gather more materials and everything like that a lot quicker. It drives really nice. Like, it's not too bad at all to drive this thing. It can pick up a little more speed if any, but I think I set it down to be really, really slow. And it has the drill system right in front. And not without going too much in depth to it, what we do is extend the wheels in front. Once that's done, we can change the hinges in the front here. Ooh, not this one. Where's that hinge? Right over here. To bring it all the way up, as you see. And then we'll change the hinge on the bottom this way. And that is pretty much how this rig works. So we could drill straight down for all our ore necessities. Yeah. In this way. And then we have that system where we did a advanced rotor and a hinge system, so we can do little curvatures inside the ore collection, so we don't have to make a big circle here, but we'll make a circle in the inside, basically. So that's how this all worked out, and it worked out pretty nicely. I did rebuild it a little bit, and meaning the rebuild is this here, adding two more hinges on all sides. So it used to be just this one, and I added this one here, and I copied it on both sides here. So this is kind of the more improved version of it, but that will keep it going a little bit better. I'm not sure if it is gonna kind of still work okay, meaning if I were to bring it back like this and try to drive up that hill, would it break again? So in some ways this is going to be a bit of an experiment, but if I were able to drive it again, but this time without the weight of all the ice to make this climb, I think we should be okay. The other reason why it broke is because the rear wheels back here, it flipped over. The two wheels in the back, the two sets of wheels in the back, they flipped over into the opposite side. So that could be the reason why it broke, because you know, the suspensions on the bottom is higher than when you flip it the other way. So you flip it the other way, it's almost touching the ground. So that's probably what have happened. And I'm pretty sure that is what happened, especially with all the weight on this thing. We tried to climb up this thing pretty quickly, and it just pretty much broke. So that's my suspicion of what happened. But again, I am gonna try to rebuild this thing, because I'm gonna have to look for more materials. So like silver, platinum. Well, we got silver. We need to get platinum and all that stuff too. So it looks like I can't even climb up this thing. So maybe that's probably why I got it to crash and burn. But anyways, we'll get rid of that and for now, because we don't need it. And well, not just because we don't need it, because I don't be cheesy about it. But the reason why I went all the way over here to mine is because there were silver. So I didn't mine straight down as much as I could to get to the silver. Unfortunately, it didn't get the silver right here. So I started following a line, which is right here. So I missed it by just a little bit to get the silver. But I got the silver just to get our level 2 weapons here. And also the medical room. So then we can recharge a lot faster than the original way. So let me... No, I can't. I'm too full. I was going to try to collect some of these pieces back. Here's our cobalt. Or, yeah, this is our cobalt. So that makes our metal grids for the most part. So after that, we decided to get a little bit more power, more refineries going, more assemblers going. So that is the reason for all these wind turbines. And I think I got it set up where it's decently far apart. It's about 8 apart, 8 blocks apart to get the full motion of the turbines. So it should be collecting really nicely there. And just as a backup, we did use the solar panels here just to collect some solar energy as well. Should really get this welded. And that is actually under the script of Isley solar alignment. So it moved with the sun, basically. And of course, we had one initial refinery, a second refinery at one point, and then I added a third one. And with the third one, I added a whole bunch of assemblers. So I had three different assemblers, all of them with speed mods, so we can build stuff a lot quicker. And what we've been building here is basically a ton and tons of steel plates because of the tower. So we have 26,000 here, a few thousand or a few hundred here. So eventually we just gotta collect them all into one, move it to the cargo ship, and then we transport up there. So we only got 32k worth, so it's not much at all. So for a tip for you guys, if you didn't know, hold Control Shift left click will give you 1,000. So then if you did left click right click, you could quickly add a whole bunch more right here. So right now it looks like we're out of iron. So my honey hole of iron is down here. So there's actually iron down there. So I go down here basically for the most part, and I showed it in the time lapse once or twice. This is our honey hole, and basically this thing has been rotating around to collect all the iron that was on the sides here. So it looks like it's gotten most of it, but we do seem to be missing some up top, which is a bit of a problem. But we can extend this guy a little bit more. So we're gonna go by 6, and then we can collect more iron on most of the sides here. Still haven't collected. The rest is gonna collect stone, which is fine because we still need nickel, silicon, and what else does it collect? I think that's it. So that kind of helps out with those things. So eventually I probably need to angle this thing upwards or downwards to collect the other piece of the stone, but this usually takes a bit of time. But at least we are still getting a little bit of iron here, so that always kind of works out. And looks like there's more to go, so we'll let that kind of rotate and collect while we refine and produce more. So again, that's pretty much the honey hole. There's a few other ones or iron that I ran into, so I can always get more iron, but this project does require a ton of iron, so lots more to come in that case. So of course more different drilling rigs might be coming along, I don't know, but those are some potentials there. Alright, so with more power, more refinery, more assemblers, here's my honey hole. Last thing we did in the time lapses is of course build this beast machine of a cargo ship. So I honestly was not expecting to make such a beast, because I was just holding a large cargo container and I wanted to bring it up because I don't have the connection point here. So the good news about not having it connected to the base is that I was able to make something like this. And this was a really random build. As you saw in the time lapse, let me see if I can bring this out really quick. It's recharging. Unhook it. Here we go. I don't think I have any cargo in here right now. Nope, I have some, but not too much. So this ship flies really amazing because it has large thrusters, ton of other thrusters. Not enough thrusting, to be honest, but once you fill it up with cargo, like 50,000 worth of steel plates, forget it. This thing barely wants to move. And that's why this thing fell down off the connector. And also, unfortunately, as some of you noticed, that it squashed my initial rover, my drop pod. Took out the batteries, took out the cockpit, and I guess it took out the ore detector as well. So I can say goodbye to that. It just literally just fell on top of it, so not much we could do from there. But this thing was a really random build. I started with the large cargo container, and then kind of built around it. I kind of wanted to mimic almost like a helicopter at one point. So they have the tail piece here, and then we'll just make the long piece here so we can get up to the middle of the welding rig. And then after that, I pretty much tacked on the thrusters and all the extra accessories, batteries, and things like that. So this is a bit designed out after a while. Initially, it was without the wings here, so it didn't have all this. But because we need to carry a ton of steel plates, we added most of that on here just to bring it upwards in this case. But of course, this thing is not going to be able to bring it up all the way, especially when we get into orbit or space. So we should have probably thought of using hydrogen instead. But yeah, we'll leave it as that. And I for sure broke this thing a few times because I didn't know how close I was to it. But if I were to, let's just say, go to my steel plates, right? Go to my ship cargo right here. We can load it up. About 34,000 of it right now. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for now. 35k, more than enough, and good enough. So we can unhook this, and now it still flies decently. It doesn't tilt as great anymore, but we can fly up okay as well. So initially I put like 50 to 80, actually I think I put 80k worth of steel plates up in this thing, and yeah, that did not want to move whatsoever. This thing doesn't have much left and right thrust. I think it only has 2 on each side, 4 total. So it's really hard to maneuver, and it doesn't really want to stop going forward as well because we only have 1 or 1 on each side or 2 on each side. So pushing it forward, it's gonna take a bit of time to kind of slow down. So what I've been doing here is basically, ooh, I'm gonna crash soon, hopefully not. Yeah, so this is what I've been doing, and just drive this guy all the way up there and plug it into the connector. So the connectors also, as a safety precaution, I did remove the strength on them. So if we look at the control panels for the connector right here, strength is disabled. Same with the welding rig as well, so that it doesn't suction into it by mistake and kind of cause it to break. So this thing is a little bit hard to maneuver, but it works out pretty well. It works great when there's no cargo, but with the cargo, it is quite the annoyance. It's too heavy. But not much we can do from there. We could add a camera in the front so we can connect a little bit better, but this works out okay. So I'm gonna put this here if I could, and not break anything. I really don't want to break this right this moment. So we're gonna get as close as possible. Yeah, I think a camera would be an idea, or a sensor to say how close we are. A sensor in the light to see how close we are would do it as well. Alright, so we are connected, and what we're going to do here is the cargo container. This is the elevator's cargo container, this is the ship, so we just throw all that in there. So now our welding rig has nearly a full bag of steel plates. So that is awesome. So that's going to weld for quite some time. Probably 2 kilometers off the ground at least, I would think, hopefully. But if not, then we're going to have some issues. But it's alright. Yeah, so this thing definitely does need more thrusting power, but it's up and down. It's a dream. Everything else is the problem. Forward, backwards, left and right. But this thing is meant to just go up more than it does any other direction. So that is why I'm not too concerned about it. But yeah, it is a problem. So right here, we'll just nearly just wreck the whole entire thing, but we are okay here. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna connect here back again just to make sure it's charged, and make sure it doesn't break on us. So we're gonna connect it, do a recharge, so keep it charged up. In this case, I should really turn off the thrusters so we don't waste power, but I think we have a decent amount of free power in this case anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The last 4 episodes, time lapse. We did the projection, we did the rig, the welding rig, we did the drilling machine or drilling station, and also the cargo ship here. So like I said, it is building a space elevator at the same time, but also I'm gonna make a lot of different types of ships, rovers, things like that, or gadgets kind of stuff, just to make things moving and make life easier. But definitely more to come when it comes to the space elevator. What are future plans? Once we get to the very top of the orbit, we're going to make a station up there that connects to it and see how it goes from there. So more random builds coming out soon. So of course, if you guys are enjoying the series, make sure to hit that thumbs up and like the videos. Drop some comments down below, and of course subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for your support, and of course I'll see you guys next time. Bye.